of people in the meeting, it mutes you automatically when you join. Hey, Steve. I do have it recording. The recording is on. Get my slides. So the first thing I would like to show you, now if you don't know, recording is actually an enterprise feature. It is going to expire in September 30th. So if your school is not doing the paid features of Google Meet or Google G Suite, actually, just the G Suite account, just so you know that the recording capabilities are going to end. And the breakout rooms are also for the Enterprise Edition. So the first thing is I'm on tile view. Is everybody else on tile view? Okay, so since I'm going to be sharing my screen and presenting, you're going to want to hover on your screen, and let's just take a look at what is along the bottom. You'll notice it says using Google Meet webinar, and that's where you can find, if I had attachments in the calendar, it would have automatically given us access to them here in the Google Meet. So I want you to think about how, if you were to, with your students, start a Google Meet, doing it through calendar is a great way to do it, and adding the files and things that they would need access to during the meeting gives them access in the meeting if you click on the little thing at the bottom. Then of course you can mute and unmute your mics, you can hang up, use your camera, turn on captioning. I'm going to choose present now, but if you go to the three dots, notice the different options. Now, because I am the owner of this meeting, I have the ability to record it. So I have record as an option. If my computer goes to sleep, or if I leave the meeting, it will stop the recording. The recording will save to my Google Drive, which is a really nice feature. There was some mix-ups during the last, in the months of school, is that sometimes the recording would end up in somebody else's Google Drive. I think it was based on who got in there first. That's not necessarily 100% consistent, but that is something that Google has, in theory, fixed. You know, I like to code, and whenever I fix one thing, I seem to break 5 more. So who knows what glitches are going to come. But if you go to change layout, you probably have it on auto, which is probably the best one to do. But you could do sidebar or spotlight or tiled. So if you want to change your layout and your view, you can do that. I'm going to present now my entire screen. So it's one of the things that I like about Google Meet over using Zoom. First of all, what I like about Google Meet is it can be restricted to the domain so that people who are not at your school can't get in. So I enjoy that layer of security. But I'm going to be able to present my entire screen, where Zoom currently only lets me do a window. So whenever I want to switch which account I'm showing, it's, to me, annoying to do it in Zoom. So I'm going to do a full screen share here, and I want to show you my strategy for when I am using Google Meet and I'm doing a presentation. So what you'll see is that I have my presentation slides, and I have them about the majority of my screen. You see I have about a 1-inch margin at the bottom and along the side. And then I've got the Zoom window is in the bottom right. It also has a 1-inch margin, but it's on the left and top. So do you see how my two windows overlap, so that I'm able to easily go to what it is I want to screen share and toggle back and see everybody within the Meet? Okay, so now I did this presentation the other day, and what happens is I always want you to make a Google Slides every time you teach with Google Meet. I don't care if you're meeting one-on-one with one student, if you're meeting in a small group, or if you're meeting with your entire class. you should always create a Google Slides. Always create a Google Slides, because Google Slides it allows you to, and you want to share it with edit access. Google Slides allows you to have some interaction, and so it's not so much teacher-centered. It helps you to be more student-centered, that you give the edit access to the slides, and then everybody is able to add a slide. You can ask a question. You can hear from everyone. I'm going to demonstrate that in 1 second. Now, you'll notice, though, I have the responses from the previous time that I had done this. So what you want to do is, before you share the slides, this is a big one. Before you share the slides, you go to the File menu, and you go to Version History, and you choose Name Current Version. Name Current Version. And before I share it, I want to name it Template. Now, these are, this was my group 2. So I named it for the group 2, because now, as I'm going to reuse my slides again with this group, I go to the File menu, I go to Version History, and I see the version history. And in the version history, you'll notice I have a version named Template. So that's what you want to do, is before you share it, that you share it as Template. Yep. Template, and then I restore this version, and then I can just keep using my same slides over and over again, year after year, group after group. But what I'd like you to do is always, whatever your presentation is, give the students edit access. If you give them edit access, you can have more cooperation and collaboration, and you can always put it back. So it's really risk-free. The way that you do that is 2 ways. In my Google Slides, I can click on the Share button, and I come down and it says that it's restricted. So I want to change the link. I want to change the link from at my school. You'll notice it has a picture of a building. So it's restricted to people at my school. I want to change this to anyone with the link can view. No, I want to change it to editor. So make sure it has the little picture of the world. It says anyone with the link, and you change it to editor and copy the link. And I'm going to go ahead and put this into the chat. Okay. So that's going to allow you to have edit access to my slides. Now, before I ask you to type on my slides, which I'm going to have you do that, I actually have a Google form. So if you would please click on the link to the Google form, and I am going to show this. I want to ask you, what do you like about Google Meet? Can you please answer that into the Google form? Cindy, because I'm on a school domain, it is restricting who's allowed into it. I believe if you were, don't quote me on this, I believe if you were at FresnoTeach.org, it wouldn't force me to admit, but because you guys are outside of my school, I have to admit you as guests. So that is a security feature. And as always, I don't like talking to myself, so please feel free to turn off your microphone, ask questions, or just make jokes. Or, that sounds good, Alice, noises. I call them yummy noises. Okay, so you are filling out my Google form. What do you like about Google Meet? I'm going to stop the sharing, and I'm going to switch my present now from my entire screen to a window. Now, when I do choose to present now, I can do my entire screen, I can do a window, and you would use a Chrome tab if you're trying to share a YouTube video. So if you're trying to share a tab that has sound in it, you would choose the third option, a Chrome tab. but I am not sharing any sound, so I will just share this window. Now, the thing that I figured out yesterday is one of the things that you can do is in the upper right of Google Meet, it has a little person icon, it has a chat icon, and it has your video up in the upper right. If you click on the people, that little first icon with the people, you can click on anyone and choose to pin them. So then you can focus on who the presenter and speaker is. The problem is then you can't see my presentation slides. So if you pin me, then you won't see the slides. So that's just something to be aware of.
Can you hear me, Alice?
I can.
Okay. It looks like everybody else is muted, or am I the only one?
I think it mutes you by default, so you just need to unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, and please, as long as there's not background noise, leave it on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have my Google form. I think Google Forms are just a great way to get information from students in general. And certainly, yes, you can pin the presentation, exactly. So if you want to toggle pinning the presentation or pinning my face, not that my face is so great today, and I'm in my car. I'm trying to drive to Kansas. So anyway, Google Forms is one of the best things since sliced spread, and it's certainly a great way to poll your students and hear from everybody. So you can just create a Google form, and I clicked on the pencil to go to the edit view, and I'm going to responses, and on the responses tab, I can see that there are 20 responses, and I can see the summary of results, so I can just real quick see everyone's response. Sometimes it's great just to do it in the chat. Say, hey, everybody, put your response in the chat. That works well also, but I think a Google form has some nice advantages as well. Now, you are premium members, and as premium members, you have access to my code. So you'll see what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the puzzle piece. I'm going to go to Form to Slides Premium. So if you'd like to get this code, you just need to go to the premium page, and there's a link there for the template. If you're having trouble finding it, don't hesitate to email me. And I'm going to choose Send to Slides. Now, I've already set this up that it knows that it's this slide's presentation. And what slide am I on? I am on slide 3. I think one of the most important things we should do when we have a Google Meet, when we're doing a video chat with students, is design for that interactivity, have students have input, and design it around their thinking and their talking. So one way is you can use my code. You guys have access to this. If I click present, are you able to see the presentation?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm in present mode. I click present on the Google Slides. So I want you to always, always create a Google Slides. You give edit access to the students, or you can use my Google form where it'll add their responses to the slides. What do you like about Google Meet? I don't know, but it does. It integrates with Google Classroom, and that is a great feature. One of the things that I like about Google Meet is if I record it, the recording goes to my Google Drive, which is honestly all I ever want in life is to put it in Drive, because if it's in Drive, it's so easy to share. I can put it back in Google Classroom. It's a video in Google Drive. All I have to do is create anything in Classroom and do add from Google Drive, and I can share the video. Right? So, right? All right, Susie, that's what I'm here for. We're using a Google Meet. The link is on Google Classroom. To be clear, Meets have to be enabled on the domain. So if you don't have the ability to add the Google Meet to your Google Classroom, that would be because it is disabled. You might want to talk to whoever's in charge of your apps. It's restrained to my school domain. That is, for me, the best part for sure. I completely agree with that. Hold on 1 second.
Alice, quick question.
Yes, please.
On Zoom, when you're presenting your screen, the teachers are able to see all of their students while they're presenting. And their main complaint was when they present on Google Meet, they can't see the kids. Well, how do we? Are they going to fix that?
I don't know. They don't tell me anything. Right now, I can't see any of you. I am in presentation mode. I can't see any of you. You know, pick your poison. When I'm in Zoom, the dang Zoom thing covers up what I'm trying to do on my screen. It drives me nuts. I'm like, the button's missing. I can't find it. I feel like I'm fumbling around.
Right.
I also do like to see people's facial expressions to see if I'm even meeting the mark. The unfortunate solution is I think you should, regardless, use 2 devices. So if you're able to grab a student Chromebook or something, that you could join the meeting where you can, twice. I joined the meeting twice. I'm on 2 devices.
Okay.
That's one.
Yesterday,
Thank you.
yesterday on something I was watching, I found an extension called Grid View that allows you to see up to 100 people, and you can see your screen. So that was.
There you go. You can
something to
install some Chrome extensions if your school will let you. Coming, who knows
Thank
when.
you.
Whenever Google announces new features, it could be next year when they come out. It could be 5 years when they come out. Who knows? So they say coming soon, whatever that means, is you'll be able to see a tiled 49 7 by 7. How many are you able to see right now on the screen?
I see you and 2 other people.
I see 8.
I've got 16. I've got a tile of 16 right now. But I'm also in, presenting. So it's put a chunk of you, 16 out of the 24. 5 of you are collapsed. I don't think you can control. I'm pretty sure you can. I'm just checking because sometimes they update things. You can't control who's shown, but they are updating it to be 49. Up to 49. You just have to.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mimi's new to Google Meet. So the code is on Google Classroom. It can be. It connects to Google Classroom. We're able to see and hear students, like the ease of access and have the ability to see and interact with my students. I mean, ultimately, that's it. Why do we do video meets? Is to get that personal connection, see our voice, and get beyond just having the text or static videos that we post digitally. I like the ease of setting up a meet. I like that there's no outside downloads required. I like that as well. And it is easier. You just give them the link. They can join in. It runs in your browser. I enjoy being able to interact with my students. You can use the same link all of the time. And if you're using Google Classroom, it will put the link up at the top of Google Classroom. I'll show you that. If you're not using Google Classroom, you can create a nickname meeting and just use the same one over and over again. Yes, see all your students. Yes, Google Calendar is, if I ever do a Google meeting with somebody, 100% of the time, I just create a calendar invite. I think that's the best way to connect on Meet. Everyone knows how to find it. The link's on your calendar. Go to your calendar. You can join the meeting. You don't have to be scouring your email or what text message has the link. It's on your calendar consistently. So that's my fave. You can work with your kiddos in person. I feel like it's more secure using Google Meet. I do as well. I personally don't let my own children, my children's school uses Zoom. I won't let them. I'm like, I can't join you. You guys are a Google school. Why don't you use Meet? So that's my opinion. I haven't used it enough to give an answer. Fair enough. All right, transitioning to Meet. It's Google for Education has educators on their team. And I feel at least a little more comfortable knowing somebody with an education background is making comments and helping build these things. Hey, Tina. Yep, we can interact wherever they are. As you notice, I got my timing wrong. I didn't quite make like another mile or so to get where I was going to get to. And I was able to join on my phone. I was able to get it started, invite you in on my phone. I'm now in my car. I've put the hotspot on my phone, but you see how this is working. I can do this from anywhere, really. All right, so I'm going to click escape. And
Alice?
yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Okay. At the bottom right, it says there, PD Alice Keeler is presenting, and I click on that, and I hit your entire screen, and I click on that, and it says here, this will let you take over from Alice Keeler as the main presenter, and click share now. How do we prevent a student from taking over our presentation?
That is another coming soon feature.
Okay. All right. Because I can just see the kids jumping on and taking over.
Of course they do. I mean, kids act like kids, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you bet. Okay, so my next question is, when I say face to face, I don't mean face to face. When you are on video meeting, so what are ways that you're going to use Google Meet? What are you going to use Google Meet for? Why are you meeting? So we're going to use the exact same Google form. I'm going to give you the link again in the chat. It's the same one if you refresh it. So this is what my code does, is you'll notice that it wiped out all of the responses. So I had 20 of you respond. When I sent it to my slides, it deleted all of the responses. If you're doing it manually, you go to the 3 dots and you delete all responses. You can use the Google form to poll your students during a Google Meet, then delete the responses and use the same form to poll them again and poll them again. You just delete the responses each time. All right. So how would you do in a Google Meet? Why are you getting together? Now, the thing I would caution you is you always design for the medium. You know, being face-to-face is not the same as being online, and it's not the same as a YouTube video. If you're just getting on a Google Meet to talk the whole time, then you should make a YouTube video. Students can watch it repeatedly. They can put it on double speed or half speed. If you're just going to give information, make a video. So why are we going to get together in a video meeting? Okay, and we are on slide 25. So I'm going to go ahead and gotta hurry up and get your answer in. One of the reasons why I like to have the Google form, I can see that people are still responding. The responses are coming in. Now, if I'm doing this manually, I can just see the responses here on the summary. And then I would do the 3 dots and delete all responses. That is one option. Okay, and then I have my code. So if you are using my template, doing the form to slides premium, I'm going to send it to slides. I already forgot what slide number I'm on.
25.
I choose 25. You see it wiped them out. And now your responses are over here in my slides. And I just love to have students be the ones contributing the slides and the ideas. And I click present, and then these are not my slides. These are your slides. Connection to Google's Classroom, synchronous teaching. And again, you know, well, I'm into the 5 E's lesson plan model. Engage, explore, explain comes third. So my quick and dirty for teaching is always you start with students thinking. So it's asking them questions, seeing what they say. Remember, I want you to have a Google Slides. Always have a Google Slides with edit access. Have them share what their ideas are and let that formulate a discussion, because the person doing the talking is the person doing the learning. All right? Or just Zoom and Meet are going to be very similar. The buttons are in some different places. They have some different features, although Meet's definitely paying attention to what Zoom's doing, and they've got a bunch of features coming that are just like Zoom. To present some information, check in on students. Your check for understanding. How are you going to differentiate and adjust when you can't see them doing anything? So SEL, staff meetings, sure, definitely all good suggestions. To help students if questions on the lesson, I highly encourage you should have office hours. But I want you to set boundaries with your time. Now that we're doing remote learning and we're working from home, that doesn't mean you work 24/7. So what are the times that you're available and that you're working? And it might be odd hours. You might say, okay, well, I'm going to do it from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then I know that I need to wait for parents to come home. Sometimes I need some parent help getting logged on, or parents don't feel comfortable having the kids online when they're not there. So being available maybe around 5 o'clock to 7, I don't know. Set your schedule, and then I highly encourage you to be stubborn to almost never break that. But having an opportunity for them to ask you questions. I can't tell you how many times, well, first of all, when I'm teaching in class, when's the last time someone didn't have a question? I'm like, okay, this is what you guys are doing. And sure enough, someone's like, I don't understand what we're doing. Well, at home, they're sitting there crying for 20 minutes where I could have just clarified it real quick if we were face to face. So having that opportunity to just jump on and be like, I don't understand this, to get them back on track, that they know that you're around if they need, that's a great reason to use Meet. Definitely, we should be designing for collaboration. Our lessons did not suddenly fall back to the 1800s. We're still using the 4 C's on every lesson, collaborate being one of them. For instruction, socialization, extra help. That socialization, the SEL, really is one of the biggest reasons. We get together to check in. How are you doing? Those social interactions. Yeah, you should do conferencing. You know, in Google Calendar, you can set up appointment calendar slot so they can choose an appointment slot that you can do some one-on-one feedback. That could be very challenging to do when we're doing face-to-face, just because we're limited with time and what's everybody else doing when I'm doing that. So I think it's an opportunity, really. Interact with students and let students interact with each other. We haven't used it too much. We tech support for teachers, absolutely. Yeah, you know, the ability to show your screen. So coming soon is you grant permission to share the screen. They can't just share it. So that's going to be a thing. I want to be able to get live responses from them, right, Paula? That's how I make my modifications. It's formative. It forms what I do next. One of the things that I really encourage you to do as you're doing your distance learning is don't get too far ahead. Don't do more than a couple of days in advance, because as you get this data from the students, are they engaging with it? They're not doing it, then you need to redesign the lesson. You know, it's not working for whatever reason. And if you get too far ahead, it feels daunting to like, well, I already have all this stuff. Well, we have to be willing to adjust. So I try not to get too far ahead so that it's not such a big deal for me. School system, we're using it for online teaching, small groups and individual meetings, Q&A with students, to touch base, absolutely, Carol, interacting with students, to connect with half of the students who are learning remotely. Okay, Jill, cool. Class discussions. Remember, class discussions, the students doing the talking is one of the highest rated for effectiveness of learning. The students doing the talking and discussing is one of the highest effectiveness for learning. So we got to get the kids talking. Breakout rooms are coming, but the breakout rooms only work for the enterprise. So if your school is not going to pay the extra for the enterprise, you will not have the breakout rooms. You're not going to have the Q&A. You're not going to be able to do recording. So make sure you talk to whoever it is. See if your school is going to, it's like $25 a teacher or something. I literally don't know what it is. Someone mentioned that to me yesterday. I don't know if that's the price. Explore a concept. Yes, use Desmos. I mean, I love having teacher view, having the students into the Desmos. And if you're not, yes, thank you. The whiteboard.fi is your non-math way to see the grid like Desmos lets you have it. Thank you, Gabby. All right, so I want you to always create a Google Slides is what I have here. So what I would like you to be able to do is do edit access. And I'm going to show you how to do that in Classroom. So in Google Classroom, I'm going to open that up.
Alice,
Yes.
with the Google Meet, when you create it in the Google Classroom and it's up at that tab, if you're the last one to leave, the kids can't rejoin, right?
That's a new feature, yeah.
But you have to be the last one to leave?
Coming soon is the ability to kick everybody out.
Oh, okay.
Also coming soon is that there's a waiting room, and so the moderator comes in first. So you have to be the owner of the calendar invite. It hasn't come out yet, so I'm not real sure how that works, but moderator in first, and then everyone else is in a waiting room is coming. So if you're using Google Classroom, you would want to click on the settings cog for your class and come down, and it says generate meet link. This won't be there if it's not enabled by your app's admin. So I'm going to generate the meet link. Now this is a nicknamed meeting. It doesn't look like it, but it is. You're like, what the heck does that mean, Alice? That's a really important thing when you're working with students, because nickname meetings is restricted to EDU domains. Like, you can't do that. The properties of a nickname meeting for schools are not true if you're not a school. So the thing that I'd like you to do is notice it says visible to students. I recommend you toggle this on and off. If you're not having a meeting, toggle it off. And then you can toggle it back on. I can click the tiny triangle. I can copy the link to the meeting, or I can reset it. So if you want to change the meeting link, but here's the thing, I don't have to send it out. You'll notice that in the header of Google Classroom, it puts the meeting link right there. So if students know that 11 o'clock you're having a Google Meet, they just go to Google Classroom and click on the link. If they go to the classwork page, there's going to be a Meet icon. You see it up here next to the Google Calendar? Now what I like to do, I'm going to create a topic, Google Meet meetings. Google Classroom is designed to be organized on the classwork page by topic. So I'm going to have a topic like, here's all my meetings. I'm going to create an assignment. You know me, I number everything. If you want to make your meetings in the 300s or something. I'm going to add a link. I'm going to add the link to that meeting. And then I'm going to create a Google Slides. I love that I can just create a Google Slides right in Google Classroom. And in Google Classroom, what I need to do to do edit access is I need to switch it from students can view file, that's the default, to the middle option is the important one. You gotta switch it to students can edit. Students can edit. So what you want to do is every time you have a meeting, now you can even assign it to just one student. Like, I'm meeting with Kathy. So I'm going to put a slides for me meeting with Kathy because that gives us some space to take notes. It lives in Google Drive. It's easy to find later. We can collaborate around this Google Slides. I do like to include the Hangout link in the announcement. I can delete it later if I want. I'm going to put it in my topic of Google Meet meetings. I'm going to make it ungraded. What I like about doing this also is I put the due date as the time of the meeting. So we're meeting on Monday at 8 a.m. Now they can see it from the due date what time the meeting is. So that's one option of many. Another option is to use Google Calendar. You go to calendar.google.com. Let me get to my next slides here. Oh, I have an animation to show that you want to change it to students can edit file. I already told you to toggle the, I'm not sure who's got garbage disposal in the background, but I'm going to, if I muted you and it wasn't you, just unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. If you want to scoot up just a little bit, I don't want you to get hit in the drive-through.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Good. That truck got really close to you.
Oh, thanks for that. Apparently, I'm really close in the drive-through. Thank you. Took me a second to realize it wasn't my kid. She looks like my kid, but she's not. So Oops, where was I? Oh, I'm in the calendar. So I'm in Google Calendar. Wait, I was getting my slides. Here's the slide I wanted to share. This g.co/meet/nickname. This is what lets you, I'm going to put this in the chat, make a nickname. So one thing I can do, if I just go to meet.google.com, that's Google Meet, meet.google.com. And when I start a new meeting, it's probably not going to let me because I'm in one. It'll prompt me to give a nickname. The other option, oh no, it just was slow. The other option I have is I go g.co/meet/ and then you can put whatever word you want. So I'm going to do kiwi. And then I like to make it unique, so I alwaid put my name in it because if another teacher uses kiwi, we're actually in the same meeting. So you do g.co/meet/ any word you want, and then you share that nickname with students, and they can just go to meet.google.com and put in the nickname and join the meeting. If it's a nickname meeting, then that's when you get the restrictions that the moderator has to get in first, that the moderator is the one that has to share, determine who gets to share their screen. It's got like a whole bunch of features that is not true for a regular Google Meet meeting. So you do want to always use a nicknamed meeting. And remember that Google Classroom, the Lincoln Classroom, is a nickname meeting, so it has those same properties. So when I'm in Google Calendar, though, a nice way to do this is I can just schedule a meeting with my students by going to Google Calendar. I'm going to say class meeting, 8 a.m. And under the description, I can either put my nickname meeting, so I can make it myself. That will be a live hyperlink, or I can just click the add Google Meet for video conferencing. So it adds it into my meeting with students. You want to paste the student emails to invite them as guests to the calendar. But what's really cool idea is going to more options, and you can choose to repeat it. So you're like, we meet every Tuesday. So I've pasted my students' emails in. Just do a couple. You can actually copy and paste the entire list all at once to invite them all at once. And now they're invited to this repeated meeting that happens at 8 a.m. every whatever day that is. And then since I have this Google Meet, it'll actually be the same Google Meeting link each time. Or you can, instead of using the one that you build in Calendar, you can add the g.co/meet/ your nickname if you want to do it as a nickname meeting in the description. Either way. I'll just discard that later. All right, any questions?
Alice?
Yeah.
Can you paste the link from your Google Classroom meeting into
Absolutely.
Calendar?
Definitely.
Okay.
So instead of clicking the create a Google meeting in the calendar event, you just paste the link from Classroom into the description.
Okay.
Alice,
And then,
do you still need to be the last one to leave the meeting until they fix that?
yes.
Okay.
Well,
Thank
you'll
you.
still be the last one to leave. The only way that they're fixing is that you'll be able to boot them all out so that you're the last one.
Yeah, because I found that some kids don't leave. They just linger on there.
And there's about a minute or so lag, like they leave and then you leave and then they can join back in within a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are being fixed.
All right. Thank you.
You're
When
welcome.
you're inviting students, can you use, maybe somebody's already answered this, but can you use your Google Classroom roster? Will that transfer, or do you have to have a slide, a spreadsheet of everybody?
What I do is I just open any assignment, and you go to the cog in the assignment where it says copy.
think you're frozen.
I can't hear you, Alice.
Yeah, I think you're frozen.
Alice?
I would just give her a couple minutes and see if she can come back on.
Sure.
So where is everybody from?
I'm in Welcome, Texas.
Oh, welcome. That's a unique name.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah, it's south of Brenham.
Oh,
Bluebell Ice Cream.
I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
wow.
San Diego,
Hagerstown, Maryland for me.
Huntsville, Pennsylvania.
Ah, my northern neighbor.
I'm from Fresno. This is Steve.
Oh, you're close to Alice.
I'm from Wichita, Kansas.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Nice.
I'm from Connecticut.
I'm
So
from
Mary
Rhode
Louise,
Yeah.
are you on a treadmill? Must be on a treadmill.
I am. I'm on a treadmill desk. I love it.
Smart.
Everybody needs to get one. You're exercising and working at the same time. I love it.
Oh, that's an adorable baby. Oh my gosh.
Well, he's
How
my
old?
grandson. He's 4 months old. That's Keanu.
Aww.
He's learning about Google Meet today too.
There we go.
Never too young to start.
Oh, I don't know about that. So is everybody going back in person? Or are you doing virtual learning in the fall?
Virtual.
We're
Both.
actually starting tomorrow. We're doing in San Diego, down here in San Diego, California. We're starting tomorrow, and it's distance learning through October, through mid-October.
We don't know yet.
Oh,
We're mandated to do face-to-face, so we're doing it. And the parents get a choice of face-to-face or virtual. So we're going to be doing simultaneous teaching, students in front of us while we have the kids at home on a screen. So we're going to be interacting with both groups at the same time.
wow. I
That's
like they're giving choice though.
Yeah, the parents have a choice. We don't.
Right.
We're gonna be
No.
there.
What?
We're doing the same thing in Somerville, Texas. Same.
I think Alice is back. I think. I saw her come back on. Oh, maybe not. We're doing virtual, but the teachers have to report to school.
We're doing the same thing.
We're just sitting in an empty classroom.
That's crazy.
That doesn't make sense.
With masks on in the heat and the humidity.
We have some of our teachers that are a little bit more rural, and I guess there was problems with internet, and so they decided to fix that by just having everybody come to school.
Well, they should make it a choice, really. If you have good internet at home, you should be able to work at home.
That would be nice, but
I don't think they treat us as professionals always.
well, quite honestly, and that would be because some people aren't. Oh, hi, Alice. We were just chit-chatting.
Someone's going to have to pick up the mantles for me. I'm in Texas and my phone overheated and it booted me out and it's going to do it again. My phone is like on fire. I can feel it. I will do this again for sure. I answered some more questions. I was done. The only thing I was going to show you still was that we're all going to type on the same Google Slides together, which most of you have done that with me before anyway. So I will definitely do this webinar again. And if someone could just pick up the mantle to answer some questions, your seatbelt, buddy. I will catch up with you guys later, okay?
Sure.
That's
Thank
fine.
you.
Have a safe
Bye,
trip,
bye,
Alice.
guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alice.
Well, good luck to you all, and I hope you all stay well, and I'll probably see you on other meetings.
Yes,
Does anyone have any questions that we can try to answer together, or are we good?
I have a question. How did she get those answers onto the slides? Like, did she just, I missed how she put the answers from her responses from the Google form onto the slide.
She has an script that works behind the scenes. It's something you can get off of her website.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Mary Louise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Louise, where did you get your treadmill disc?
Oh, where? Oh, Mimi.
Yes.
Just call me Mimi.
Okay.
Let's see. I got it on Amazon. It's called, here, let me get my paper. I've got it right here. It's a Lifespan. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, yeah.
Lifespan workspace. It cost about, I think, with the treadmill and the desk, and I got the big desk. You can get a small desk or a big one, but I like lots of space to put all my stuff. So I think it cost just over like $1,200 for everything. And I think it's well worth it because during the spring when I was, doing remote, I was just laying on my bed like a beached whale doing everything. It was terrible. And so I've lost 13 pounds and I walk like 20,000 steps or more a day. And it's painless. It's painless.
Okay.
I just can't believe I didn't get one earlier. I
Nice.
wish I could take it to school with me. It's a TR 1200B. That's the one I got.
Any downside to it?
No, maybe for some reason mine is programmed only to go 2 miles per hour, and I understand you can make it go 4 miles per hour. I haven't figured it out how I need to call, but I'm good at 2. It starts at 0.4 miles per hour, and you can ramp it up to 2, any speed you want. And, if I really need to concentrate, I slow it down or I turn it off and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's a little noisy, but you get used to it. Not real noisy, not very I mean, you can't hear it, can you?
No,
No.
not at all. And headphones, maybe those help with the noise too.
No, that's because I just have problems with my computer. It has nothing to do with the treadmill, really. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because every time I see you on here, you're moving. I'm like, I'm not moving. She's moving. She's getting exercise, and I'm not.
I'm bobbing up and down.
No, it's all good. It's
Y'all
excellent.
need to get one. Get one.
Okay. I think they need to give you a cut if a lot of people start ordering it.
All right, ladies. Well, it was nice talking to you. And gentlemen, it was nice talking to you.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
How do I leave?
Red button in the middle looks like a phone that you're hanging up.